So how does a man that has a flipping assault, like a harassment, has probation, have warrants, were able to slip through the system, get a $2,500 bail, and was able to go back to the same young lady that he harassed and kill her?
Sometimes the internet captures moments that become haunting in retrospect. A few months ago, a young woman in Baton Rouge posted something on social media that seemed innocent at the time. She wrote, "Send a white boy my way." What happened next became one of the most tragic examples of why we need to pay attention to character over everything else. 23-year-old Stasy Charles got exactly what she asked for. She met Stephen Heinrich Jr., a man who seemed to check the boxes she was looking for. But what she didn't know was that this man came with a history so dark, so violent, that multiple women across state lines had been trying to warn anyone who would listen. Despite 6 restraining orders, despite desperate warnings from other victims, despite doing everything the system told her to do, Stacy still lost her life in a parking lot on Old Hammond Highway. So the question everyone's asking is, what happens when you follow every legal step, exhaust every resource, and it still isn't enough? And why did a man with this kind of history only get a $2,500 bond just 1 week before he took her life? Stacy Charles was from Harvey, Louisiana, just outside New Orleans. She was 23 years old with her whole life ahead of her. Beautiful, family-oriented, and active on social media. Friends described her as loving and caring. She listened to Future, Beyonce, Gunna, and Lil Durk. She graduated high school in 2020 and was building her life. On social media, she shared pictures, thoughts, and dreams like so many young women her age. That's where she made that post, the one that seemed so simple at the time. Send a white boy my way. She got her wish. But what showed up was a nightmare disguised as an answer to prayer. Stephen Heinrich Jr. was 28 years old from New York, and he had a reputation that should have been impossible to ignore. Back in September 2024, a woman identified as Somalia Clark filed a criminal complaint and a restraining order against Heinrich, his father, and his mother. The details of that complaint are sealed, but what we do know makes your skin crawl, because around that same time, another woman was screaming into the void, trying to get anyone to listen about what Heinrich was doing to her best friend.
According to Baton Rouge police, 28-year-old Stephen Heinrich stabbed 23-year-old Stacy Charles to death before crashing his car and setting himself on fire.
By October 6, 2025, Stacy had seen enough. She filed a restraining order to keep Heinrich away from her work and school. In those court records, Stacy laid it all out. She said Heinrich had stalked her, physically harmed her, and threatened her life over the past year. But here's where the system started to fail her. The initial protective order was never served because officers couldn't find Heinrich. And when the court date came, Stasy didn't show up. The matter was dismissed. 1 month later, on November 5, 2025, Stacy contacted police about a physical altercation that resulted in Heinrich's arrest. He posted a $2,500 bail and was released. Commissioner Keena Kimball set that bond and issued another protective order. 8 days later, Stacy Charles was gone.
2 a.m. Thursday. 23-year-old Stacy Charles is laying in the parking lot of this Old Hammond Highway apartment complex, bleeding out. Baton Rouge police say her ex-boyfriend, 28-year-old Stephen Heinrich, had stabbed her multiple times before crashing his car and setting himself on fire.
According to the Baton Rouge Police Department's preliminary report, Heinrich arrived at Stacy's residence around 2 a.m. on November 13, 2025. He began ramming his vehicle into hers. He then removed her from the vehicle and attacked her fatally in the parking lot of the 12,000 block of Old Hammond Highway. Stacy was rushed to a local hospital where she passed away during surgery. She was 23 years old. Officers responded to a crash nearby and determined Heinrich was involved in both incidents. After attacking Stacy, he drove away and intentionally entered the oncoming lane of travel, resulting in a head-on collision with another vehicle. While in his vehicle, after the crash, Heinrich set himself on fire. He was transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries and passed away the following day. But here's where this story gets even more heartbreaking. Months before Stasy lost her life, someone tried to warn her. A woman from New York, a stranger, reached out because she knew exactly who Stephen Heinrich was and what he was capable of. This woman's best friend had been terrorized by Heinrich for over a year and a half. She watched her friend suffer through 532 days of nonstop harassment. And when she heard Heinrich had moved on to another woman in Louisiana, she made it her mission to warn Stacy. On the day Stacy passed, this woman created an Instagram page and shared everything. She posted, September 10th of last year, 2024, I posted about the man who has been relentlessly harassing my best friend and me and everyone she associates with. He started the harassment May 30th, 2024. It's been 532 days of non-stop harassment. 532 days of watching my best friend beg the police to do something. Yesterday morning, the same man brutally stabbed and killed a woman he was also harassing, drove his car into ongoing traffic, and tried to kill himself by lighting himself on fire. An innocent woman just lost her life because police have neglected yet another stalking case, and I'm effing devastated. She went on to detail everything. The fake pages Heinrich created, the hundreds of calls to her friend's job, the harassment that wouldn't stop no matter how many times they begged for help. On that same Instagram page, she posted a screenshot of the message she had sent to Stasy months earlier, trying to warn her. The message read, Hey love, we don't know each other, but the man you are seeing right now has been stalking and harassing me almost every single day since last year. He does the same thing to my best friend. He's moved into my whole family, my job, etc. I've never even met him before, but he used to talk to my friend for a short period of time until he went insane out of nowhere. He's extremely racist, yet he targets black women. I'm literally only messaging you because I don't want to see this happen to yet another black woman. It's literally terrifying. He's been arrested already and still hasn't stopped. He was checked into a mental hospital like last month and came out and still continues. I can send you thousands and thousands of screenshots of proof of everything. Only thing I ask is you don't send him the messages for both of our safety. Just trying to be a girl's girl here. Stacy responded. They talked. The woman sent all the evidence she had collected. Thousands of screenshots, police reports, everything. In early November, right after Heinrich had been arrested for harming Stasy, the woman reached out again. She sent Stasy a message checking on her safety. Sorry, I got a free second to look at this. Are you okay? And is he still locked up? Do you want me to have his probation officer reach out to you? I need to make sure he's locked up for good. This has gotten beyond out of hand. He's doing the exact thing I warned you he would do, and he really needs to be stopped. Please make your family and friends aware, because I'm nervous. If he gets out, he could do something. Stacy responded, I know. I'm kind of scared also, but they said they're going to call me when he gets released. I hope he doesn't get released. He's violating his probation. He's not even supposed to leave the county. Yesterday, he was saying he's going to go to my job, my parents' house, etc. All type of stuff. He kept trying to get me arrested. But once I got to the hospital, they seen everything. I was let go.
Everything that he did to my daughter, he was doing to the same girl.
That's Dominique Ramkaran. Her daughter lives in New York, where Heinrich is from. For a year and a half, Heinrich made their lives a living nightmare.
A year and a half, you harassed and stalked my daughter. A year and a half, you have tortured us.
When the police wouldn't take it seriously, Ramkaran filed a civil suit against Heinrich. She brought 3 lawsuits against him, just trying to make him stop. He didn't. The woman helping Stacy posted about her own desperate attempts to get protection. She shared a text Heinrich sent to her agent. Hello. If you tell us Rose Grace's address, we will send you $2,000 in Bitcoin. And if you don't, we will contact all of your family members about you. Still not enough for an order of protection. She posted a death threat from one of Heinrich's thousands of fake pages. I'm going to bury her watch. Still not taken seriously. The woman who tried to save Stacy wrote, It took my friend a whole year of raising absolute hell at the police station just for them to do charging with anything. He got off with a year of probation and mental health checking. That's all we have said from the start. Nobody is going to do anything until somebody did. That's for me. I couldn't even get any cop to even write up a report. I went to both Queens and Yorktown police. My dad went to Yorktown police. I sent in the effing tip to the FBI, spoke to the FBI multiple times until they ultimately stopped calling me back. Nobody cared. Let that sink in. The FBI was contacted. Multiple police departments were contacted. Civil lawsuits were filed. Restraining orders were requested and denied.
So how does a man that has a flipping assault, like a harassment, has probation, have warrants, were able to slip through the system, get a $2,500 bail, and was able to go back to the same young lady that he harassed and kill her?
That's Dominique Ramkaran, asking the question we all want answered. At Heinrich's bond hearing, the district attorney's office told Commissioner Kimball that he had been previously arrested for violating a protective order and for criminal mischief, both out of New York. But somehow, they didn't have information about the multiple protective orders that existed. District Attorney Hiller Moore was out of the country when reporters asked for comment. His office didn't request a 313 hearing, which would have given a 72-hour hold. They didn't request a higher bond. They didn't request an ankle monitor. All of these things could have made a difference. None of them were asked for.
Michael, Sylvia, we're here in Gretna, which is near Charles's hometown of Harvey. There were dozens of people, they're still lingering here behind me, that came to celebrate her life, releasing purple balloons in her honor.
Family and friends gathered in Gretna to honor Stacy's memory. Purple balloons floated into the sky as dozens of people mourned a young woman who did everything right and still didn't survive. Her mother spoke about Heinrich's behavior. The woman who tried to save Stacy posted one final message with Stacy's picture. "We did everything we could. Stacy's blood is on the hands of every law enforcement, every judge, every DA who let him slide. Me and my best friend raise hell so he wouldn't end up doing this to anyone. This could have been me. It could have been my best friend. I'm so sorry, Stacy. We didn't even know each other. I just reached out to try to save her life. Rest in peace." Stacy Charles was 23 years old. She graduated high school in 2020. She loved her family. She had dreams. She did everything the system told her to do. She filed restraining orders. She called the police. She reported the harassment and the threats. And she still lost her life in a parking lot on Old Hammond Highway. 6 restraining orders across multiple states. 532 days of documented harassment. Warnings from strangers who had never met her, but cared enough to try. FBI tips, civil lawsuits, police reports. None of it was enough. Stephen Heinrich Jr. walked out of jail on a $2,500 bond. 8 days later, Stacy Charles was gone. Rest in peace, Stacy. Your story will not be forgotten. And maybe, just maybe, your loss will finally force the system to change so the next young woman who does everything right actually gets protected. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And today, we'll catch you on the next one.